Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Anthony Carew, who'll be moderating the session, Warwick Thornton, Rachel Ward and Rob Connell.
I grew up with a really close friend who had a really bad stutter and just wouldn't say anything to anybody. You know, and it was that kind of time when we were, 13 and sort of falling in love and throwing rocks at girls and that sort of stuff. So it was kind of real to me, and it's my first script, so I was a bit of a coward towards writing dialogue. It always feels hokey, you sort of, hi, and even that word hi, it's like, oh, it's terrible, change that. Sort of, it doesn't, I'm getting better at writing dialogue, so just that first film was like, okay, it wouldn't be cool to make a film without any dialogue.
I thought incest in the outback would be kind of jolly. I obviously got it very wrong, apparently. Look, I always thought it was a great yarn. I'm always looking for stories that are very character-driven, great parts for actors. I come from a performance, background, finding great roles for actors. I suppose is sort of one of the things that really drives me, as much as the story. But I guess, the character of Kate in the book I loved. And she had that same quality to me that Scarlett O'Hara does, which she's just someone she's a survivor, but she is always pushing the boundaries, and she just had a very proactive role, probably, to her detriment and everybody else's. But having come from the sort of the 70s and 80s and playing, women's roles, which are really about sort of dabbing witch hazel on cuts and laying on your back on orgasmic throws. For me, to have characters in there that were women's characters that were taking the sort of taking the strong role, were driving the scenes, was attractive to me, which was something I'm always looking for.
My hope was that the film would reveal the truth of something that had been concealed, and that was pretty much as far as the political ambition. I didn't think the film would be a mechanism for justice. I thought more that the film would be an opportunity to put on the record something that has been hidden. In the same way that I think cinema, I think for me of a film like The Killing Fields, which is one of the great films for me personally, and very influential film. And when I think of the tragedy of what happened in Cambodia under Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge, I don't think of documentaries I've seen. I think of the work of fiction, fictional interpretation of real events in The Killing Fields. And I feel that filmmaker was able to take us as an audience into the killing fields of Cambodia so that we could feel how terrible it truly was. And I guess my hope was that Balibo, as a work of fiction based on fact, would actually take the audience into our own killing fields of East Timor and show the audience what it must have been like, so that they would have a compassionate view of something that maybe seemed removed as a historic event.
Sorry, you just said it was hard to convince people of what else.
Oh, because for instance, if you have Jane Campion or Bob or anybody who's got a track record of film, you know their sensibilities, you know what they're going to bring, you know what their intelligence is, or what they're preoccupied with, or who their team is, or if you're an unknown, if you're a first timer, even if you've got a history of shorts behind you, you're unproven. People don't really know where your sensibility is and what sort of film you're going to make. So you've got this, and a script is just a blueprint. It's not, particularly, I suppose you probably had this one trying to sell it with, when it's just it's a quarter of what it's going to end up as. So that is quite hard convincing investors that how you see it and what you're going to bring to it and who your practitioners are. And you're going to bring Andrew Commerce in and he's going to make it beautiful and romantic, and you're going to have a fabulous editor who's going to cover up all your mistakes, and they don't know that. They have to trust you that you're going to do that you're going to bring it home, I guess.
Where's the dialogue? There's no dialogue in this script. Yeah, absolutely. And Warwick wanted to shoot it himself, so he couldn't get Andy to so there was an awful amount of I can do it, yeah, I think I can, yeah.
So how short was the script?
It was actually 80 pages, so, you know, without any dialogue, it was all, you know, the sun rises over the beautiful golden mountain range, blah, 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 Samson's head, you know, just write paragraphs about Samson's head. So, yeah, no, it was a full, you know, a fully blown script, but it's just, yeah, it was also a big print.